It says record. Okay, gentlemen, hi. My name is Mike Haltman. I am going to be your host today. For those who typically come to listen to Do You Ever Wonder, you'll notice that there's no intro music, but that's because today we have two worlds that are kind of colliding. The world of Long Island Elite, which is a Meet the Member segment, and also Do You Ever Wonder. And today there's also a little change up in that we have two guests and two from Long Island Elite, two very elite guests. We have Evan Bloom and Bert Lurch. And welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. So, we're going to touch on a few things today, but the first thing is, both of you are entrepreneurs. Evan, you're in Sir Speedy, and Bert, you Essential Medical. Bert, tell me a little bit about your business.
So I have it's a revenue cycle management company, or also known as a medical billing company. Our entire goal is to make sure medical providers are reimbursed correctly from the insurance companies for the services that they provide. We do that by making sure they are compliant. There's what's called coding services, make sure codes go over to them to the insurance companies correctly, and we consult with them. So that's a very simple breakdown of what we do. And we've been in business now about 21 years.
Wow.
So it's been a long road, and we actually spun off another company that works directly with providers who are out of network. So it's a very you have to have a certain amount of expertise to get the money from these insurance companies.
Obviously. And as someone who uses the insurance companies for whatever ailments I have, I 100% concur. It's no walk in the park.
Not at all.
So now what drew you to this business?
I originally was in college in my undergrad years. I was working at Long Island Jewish Hospital prior to the whole Northwell combination there. And I was just moving up and trying to figure out what am I going to do? Took a billing class, me and my business partner. And we didn't want to go into management at that time. What could we really do? So we had the entrepreneurial spirit. We would do bus trips, things like that. And we said, you know what? Let's start our own business. We're young enough, no kids, no mortgages. Let's try it. And that's how it started. So based out of the hospital system.
You know what? That's phenomenal. Excuse me, a phenomenal story of getting involved in something that you knew about. And that's, obviously you took your expertise and you drove it to a very high level. So congratulations on that. That's phenomenal.
Thank you.
And Evan, you are, from what I understand from my in-depth research of you, besides being a SUNY Albany grad, which I give you big kudos for, as a fellow Great Dane, you are involved with one of the top 10 Sir Speedy franchises in the country.
Yeah. Last year, I own a family business with my father and my brother. We started in 1992. So March of this year, just 2 months ago, was our 30th year in business. We own the Sir Speedy Center in Westbury, Hop Hog, and Melville, and we're a printing, signage, and marketing services company. And it's been a great 30 years.
That's great. And I give you credit because I personally could actually, I take that back. My wife is my partner in my business, but working with family can definitely be a challenge sometimes. So I give you guys credit for coexisting and not killing each other.
Yeah, it's it can have its challenges, but it's it can be just as rewarding. And I'll tell you, one of the best pieces of advice that we got, and my father instilled when we all started this business, because it's not like we grew up in this business. He literally started 2 years before I came into the business, and then my brother 2 years later. So it was all, this was the second career for him. First career is for me and my brother, but it's not. But we didn't grow up in a business
right.
where that was just a natural progression. But we were told very early on, you have to have your roles, define your roles, which every business needs to do anyway, but particularly in a family business. You need to know what you're responsible for and what you're doing. And almost more importantly, your employees have to know who they're reporting to so they can feel like, well, I have now 3 bosses, in our situation. Who am I really reporting to? And who am I taking instruction from?
So you guys all stay in your lanes and pretty much respect each other's roles, which is great.
Absolutely. I manage all the sales and marketing, our salespeople for the company, and I've done that really for most of our 30 years. I didn't start out doing that initially. It was my brother. Then we realized our roles were better suited switching. So he runs all the operations now, and I handle, like I said, the sales and the marketing.
Terrific. You know what? That's great. So 2 great stories. Both of you guys have great stories that have led you to where you are today. I'm going to throw a cliche at you both. To what do you attribute the success that you've had? What personal attributes? What do you bring to the table that really drove you to the success that you have?
Well, I'll take it first. I mean, for us, it's in our business. A lot of it has been about family, and the fact that we've been able to work together and grow something together. I think that's been a big part of it, and I will throw some kudos to our franchise. We are a franchise business, in that a lot of the things that they do, they're actually a family business as well. They're actually the CEO of our franchise is 2nd generation as well. And they actually have a 3rd generation coming into the business.
Wow.
So a lot of that, funnels down, and you have that, that real family feel, that runs throughout our company in a lot of ways.
That's great.
Yep.
So now, Bert, you didn't really have a roadmap to get to where you are, and you were delving into complexities of a business that takes a lot of working in. I mean, there's a lot of little pieces that have to fall together. So, what drove you to what led to your success?
I think against the odds, right? So when I was working in the hospital system, one of the jobs that I had that kind of set me in line for where I'm at now was to work in a clinic, but it was like an OBGYN clinic, and to work at the front desk, and to have a 18-year-old guy there, 6 foot, tall, to be at the front desk. The manager at the time was like, you don't really want this job. And I was like, well, yeah, I really do want it. Like, why shouldn't I not get this job? So that kind of pushed me, right? And then what that did was it allowed me to learn about the business side of healthcare. My boss at that time, I was able to learn from him. So then when it was time to go out on my own, the concern was, are you going to be able to do it? Hey, why leave the hospital system? And again, it was like, why not? I see all the positive in entrepreneurship and running your business. So it was like the odds were against us. No one would give us the inside information. And like you said, we had no roadmap, no family members that were in business. So it was really tough in those early years. But that wall, I needed to climb it. And I think that pushed me to continue going. So, against all odds, if you will, and just wanting to just persevere.
You know what I was about to say. So the overriding term that you would use is perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's correct. And that's great. And both of you, you both got into businesses that you didn't necessarily have a ton of expertise in, and through different avenues, you both have become great successes. So, kudos to both of you. It's great to see. So now that brings us to Long Island Elite, which is an organization obviously on Long Island. It's involved in philanthropy. It's involved in business development, and it's very social in terms of people who've made contacts such as you guys that will hopefully last a lifetime. So, what drew you to Long Island Elite, and what keeps you there?
Well, I'll go first again. So, I am an original founding member of the organization. So we're actually celebrating our 20th anniversary right now. Um, and yeah, it's been a crazy long 20 years, but it's been a great 20 years as well. And I was there from that first interest meeting to I sit on their board of directors now. I'm a past president. And now, and probably the best thing that I've done in the 20 years is really kind of what's bringing us together today is, I co-chair Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee with Bert and two other of our members. So it's been, for me, it's been a long run. And I've done a lot of different things within the organization, but it's been really good.
And Bert?
I was invited by Evan Bloom, so he's obviously doing a really good job years ago. And I think one of the main reasons that I joined is because when at that first meeting, about 25 minutes, there was the thank yous. And for like 25 minutes, people were thanking each other for connections and business. And I was like, this is obviously an amazing group because these people are helping each other. So that was something that attracted me to the organization and to be a part of it. And over the years, I've met so many people that I've been able to count on for certain things, get information, and also connect me to business. So LIE has been really a really good group for me, and also what the organization does for the community. And with the committee that we co-chair, we're just continuing to do more and more things relating to diversity for the community.
That's great. And now we're going to, and again, so Long Island Elite, I'm a relative new member, but I do see, unfortunately, I got involved right before COVID hit, but the value is obvious to anyone who really takes a look in all of the different aspects that you guys have mentioned. So the one aspect that both of you talked about is your co-chairing of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. And, using this platform in a double way, which is meet the members, and for my podcast, Do You Ever Wonder? A lot of people do wonder about diversity, equity, inclusion, what it means, what place it has in society, what place it has in business, what it does in an environment where maybe all three of those words have not always been fully used for business, for groups. So what led you both? And this time we're going to start with Bert, because Evan, you keep stealing the first slot. Bert, what drove you guys to form this committee, to be obviously solid co-chairs? I sit in on most of the meetings, and they're great. They're truly inspirational. So what was the impetus?
So this started because when the nation was going through the George Floyd murder, and there was a lot going on. There was a lot going on with people of color. There was a lot going on with the whole country. And, I connected with my closest friends within the group, and Evan being one of them. And I had some conversations. I wanted to be very honest and open about what is transpiring and what can be done about it. And being that the LIE is, part of what we do is shape the future leaders of Long Island, it was important that we discuss this. It was important that we do something about it to make sure we do our part as an organization to educate our members and potentially the community on diversity, because it is extremely important to be aware of diversity, equity, inclusion, and we're still learning so much about that. And when we talk about diversity, it's not just Black and white, it is religion, disabilities, women. We go through the whole gamut of it. But that time frame, we know what started it, But my point is that this is something that we try to make sure we communicate, open up people's minds. And we've had private conversations with many people who have been a part of our committee meetings that said, you know what, prior to these meetings, I may have been closed-minded on a lot of things. And that's really, I think, one of the biggest pieces of this is that we have to open up our minds, especially here in Long Island. The island is 48%, somewhere around that, minority. So how is that going to work in the next 20 years when the numbers shift a bit? Who are the business owners? Who are the entrepreneurs? How are they going to do business with each other? We know there's statistics on organizations that have a diverse group of people, how they make more money. We know how much money there are in minority population. How does that intertwine? We can't just have these lines and say, we're only going to work with these people and I'm only going to hire these people, whatever these people are. We have to be a little bit more open. So that's how it started. And that's been a driving force. And it's been something that I personally have been talking about quietly for many years. It's just maybe the opportunity came now for people to really want to listen more because of the situation that happened.
No, I think you're 100% right from sitting in on these meetings that people definitely do open their minds and open the lines of communication, which, you know, lack of communication, I think, is one of the is a stumbling block in a lot of things that we do. So, Evan, what brought you to want to lead this committee with Bert?
Well, there's really not much more I could add to what Bert said. He really summed it up great. You know, but like Bert said, is, you know, we would have some of these conversations because we were personal friends first before this. And when he called me up that one day, you know, and I remember it distinctly, you know, he called me up. I was sitting in my car and I pulled over and I was sitting in a parking lot. You know, we were having this conversation and he's like, we have to do something. You know, we're the LIE. We don't sit by and just not do something and have these conversations. And so we started talking about it and saying, all right, we need to, you know, me being on the board, you know, I need to go to the board and I need to say, you know, this needs to be a committee that we have to have so we could start having these conversations. And from day one of the, I'm not sure mantra is really the right word for it, but we use the term a lot in saying, you know, we want to have the difficult conversations and we want to get, you know, we want to get people comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. And when you, like you just said, it's about communication. It's about talking things through and understanding someone else's perspective. And when you take the time to do that, it just opens up your world in a lot of different ways.
So let me ask you this, because you know, one of the things, whether you're in a business or whether you're in a group or whether you're in philanthropy, buy-in is a huge thing. How have you guys found the overall buy-in of the group to the concept of pursuing this avenue?
You want me to go?
Sure.
I think that overall, the leadership, there is buy-in. They've allowed us to put on all the events that we wanted to do and have supported us. I think the membership, there's definitely buy-in because we've had various different people pass through our roundtable discussions. I think that, but we also know, and we talk about it, it takes time to change the minds. It's not going to happen. I come to one or two meetings and I you know, have a conversation I may have never had before. It opens them up, but then you still have to kind of continue that. And that's going to take time. This committee, me and Evan specifically spoke about it, and the other co-chairs about where it's moving the dial slowly. It will move, and it is moving. And many of us and many of the members may not even notice it. Going through the interviewing process, some people may be making some changes on their interviewing styles now because of so many things that we spoke about. So I think that we are heading in the right direction. I think there is buy-in. I just know that sometimes people believe that things have to happen immediately, and it's just not that type of thing. It took many years to get to this kind of point, to make the changes that we're looking to make. It's going to take some time to get to a much better place, but I think we're heading there.
Well, it's important, we live in an atmosphere now of immediate gratification. So being willing to take the time is certainly an important thing, and it's important for people to realize. But moving forward, what challenges do you guys see? I mean, there are always challenges. What challenges do you see, and obviously, how do we overcome them?
Well, I'll tell you one challenge that actually, to piggyback on what Bert just said, is that immediate gratification. We talked about this when we created the committee, and we continue to talk about that. This is something that takes for decades. Look how long it's taken us to get to this point. And and people are coming to our meetings and they're seeing, oh wow, this is great. This is a great conversation. It's so obvious. Like, why aren't we doing this? Why didn't I think about this before? And they're expecting, suddenly, like, the world to change overnight, and that's just not going to be the case. So our philosophy is, we're going to take this very slow, methodical, marathon type of approach. We need to keep having our meetings. Every month, almost without fail, we have our committee meeting where we're having discussions. We're having very methodically, on a basically almost quarterly basis, a lunch roundtable. We've done some other speaking engagements, and it's just that consistent, putting that consistent message out there, and just keep having the conversations. And like Bert said, things will change, and things are already changing, and people don't even a lot of people don't even realize it. But that's because you just have to take that methodical, slow approach, and I do think it works.
So what do you need from the members?
In my opinion, I just want them to come to a meeting, because I can't tell you how many times people have come up to me after a meeting and said, wow, that was great. That conversation was nothing like I expected it to be. And it was interesting. And one of the best parts of our committee is there's not a lot of work to it. You show up and you have a conversation for the most part. Yeah, on occasion, we might bring a speaker in or do something, or the next meeting, we're taking a road trip to our charity partner for the 2022 year, and just to get off site from our typical place. But it's just opening yourself up to a conversation, and you could come and go as you want, as your schedule permits. But we're getting really good feedback from saying, wow, that was not what I expected a conversation to be.
Well, I think ultimately, like every member of LIE should try and invite guests to meetings the same way that people who are part of the committee, and even people who come as guests of the committee, should try and think of the diversity and inclusion piece as well when looking to invite people to come and visit with us. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I also think that the members, if they could be more mindful of opportunities for the committee. You may not have to be in the committee, but you may see an opportunity that the committee can have a presence or do some work with. We would love to hear from the members about that. And just, hey, they have this event going on. Maybe we should go there because it looks like a potential fit for us. So those type of things are, very helpful for what we're trying to do. And, and just, again, just like Evan said, continue to come to the meetings, be willing to have uncomfortable conversations. They get uncomfortable, but they're not bad. They are digging into areas that people don't normally dig into, which is, part of the problem. And that's why we try to do that. And we make it a very safe space, and we've had no issue with that. And that's what we're doing. That's what we do in our committee.
Well, you do a great job. And, most people don't like to feel uncomfortable. Most people don't like conflict. So, that's certainly an issue for people. but by the same token, it is certainly an important thing for people to come in and check it out. I know that when I did, I was happy that I did. And I don't know if it's the repetitiveness of you got to staying in front of people. I don't know how you get people to get over the hump and participate, but a lot of people just need constant reminding. And I know that the Diversity and Inclusion Committee at Long Island Elite was honored in 2021 by Long Island Business News. And I know that this year, one of the committee members, Amy Keegan, was honored at the Diversity and Inclusion Breakfast hosted by Long Island Business News, and Rich Tavares was the host.
Esperanza Vieira also.
And Esperanza, I'm sorry, yes.
This is part of our committee, yeah.
Absolutely. So I apologize, Esperanza, if you watch this to the end, but no question. So, obviously the committee is making an impact and will continue to make an impact. And, I think it behooves the members of LIE to participate and help the committee, which in turn will help the group in total. So, you guys are great. I can say that it wasn't easy getting this together. Your schedules are certainly tough. I'm a little sick today. I have a hacking cough, which maintained itself, but I wasn't going to reschedule because I know that that could have been a real problem. And the last thing is, for anyone who may have heard barking during this, that's my dog Spencer, who I had to bring to work because he needs an operation. But he's a great dog. But in any event, thank you guys for your time. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your business expertise. And, I guess thanks just for being you guys.
Thank you for thinking of us for today. This was great.
Absolutely. And be well. Have a happy Mother's Day.
Oh, wait, and happy Cinco de Mayo, right? We're on a diversity.
Yes. Cinco de Mayo. Absolutely.
All
Enjoy your
right.
margaritas today, fellas.
All right.
All right. It was great. Thank you.
Take care.
We'll talk
guys.
to you all soon. Bye.
All right.